Hello, everyone. It's Dr. T. I'm a tech trainer and career coach, and I help professionals transition to tech by leveraging their existing skills and abilities. Today, we're talking about PCI DSS compliance and specifically around implementing strong controls. PCI DSS stands for the Pay Card Industry Data Security Standards. It's a set of security standards designed to ensure that all companies that accept, process, store, or transmit credit card information maintain a secure environment. These standards were developed by the Payment Card Industry Standards Council, so PCI SSC, which is a group of major credit card companies focused on securing credit card data. So that's Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, and JCB. This video, we're talking about implementing strong access controls. There are 12 requirements bundled into 6 categories. And again, this category focuses on strong access controls, and there are 3 requirements that map to this particular category. So there's requirement 7, which focuses on restricting access to cardholder data by a need to know basis. So making certain that access to cardholder data is by job function, job role, and that the minimum access is provided based on that job function or job role. So processes in place to assess the particular functions around the job and the particular functions around the data, and then only giving access to those users that need that data. Requirement 8 focuses on identifying users and then authenticating them as it relates to giving them access to systems. So that's that identity access management component focused on authentication. And then requirement 9 focuses on restricting physical access to the cardholder data. So that's around those environments and areas where systems and data is stored, and only allowing access to those users and individuals who are authenticated to be physically present around those resources. So if we think about implementing strong access controls via rather logical controls or physical controls, we're talking about role-based access, where we're assigning users and individuals to a role and defining that role from a alignment to a particular job function, and granting access to cardholder data and the cardholder data environment based on that job function, based on that role, and only granting access permissions accordingly. Regularly reviewing this access is important to maintaining strong access controls, ensuring that privileges are appropriate and necessary for each individual's role. Another focus for strong access controls is unique user IDs. So making certain that every user to the system has their own unique ID. That helps to ensure that each individual who accesses that cardholder data or that sensitive system is identified, knowing when and where they've accessed that information, and also informing the users and helping them understand that is it important to maintain and not share their user ID or their system access, as each user should have their own access and ID so that they could be tracked and so that they can be authenticated based on their own credentials. Enforcing strong passwords is another part of that unique ID process. Making sure that there's a strong password policy, requirements for length and complexity and expiration are set and applied, and communicate it to all users. Strong access controls also include multi-factor authentication. So here's where we're looking at those who have access to a system or access to data have that unique ID. They're able to be authenticated based on at least two different factors. So by a password or passphrase, a token, biometrics, or some type of smart card. And then configuring that multi-factor authentication to trigger whenever access to sensitive resources is being requested. And then having those privileged actions or modifying any configurations is done so by a unique user who has been authenticated securely and can then perform that task. Access controls for sensitive data should be in place where restricted access is done so by a business need to know. Only those individuals with legitimate business need are granted access to cardholder data, and then that stored cardholder data is encrypted, and strict controls for decrypting keys are in place to prevent unauthorized access. There should be segregation of duties. SOD, segregation of duties, help separate conflicting duties to prevent one individual from having just super user and superpower and unchecked control over critical systems or process. So segregating those roles and responsibilities ensures that no single person can perform all of the high-risk actions without any oversight. And this separation should be enforced in development, testing, production, all environments to prevent unauthorized access and changes to sensitive data and production systems. So having that segregation of duty is a checks and balances. And then having regular access reviews and monitoring is important for an organization looking to be PCI compliant and looking to implement strong access controls. So these regular reviews look at user access rights and permissions and determine if that's still aligned with a business need and consistent with established organizational policies and procedures, and then makes the necessary changes if relevant. This review and access monitoring also helps the organization to perform audit trails to detect and investigate unauthorized access or any suspicious activity. So it's logging, monitoring, and continuous review. Where real-time alerts may also be in place that helps the organization become aware of unusual and anomalous activity. And then also having documented policies and procedures around access controls. So understanding, identifying users, understanding their activities, controlling their access, and then identifying any authentication requirements should be a part of the policies and procedures. And this will help ensure that employees have the right access to perform the particular job function. And as these policies and procedures are fleshed out, then employees will need to be trained on these procedures and policies and understand their role in protecting cardholder and sensitive data. So these are just some tips and options for at least a baseline set. The extent to these controls being fleshed out is based on the individual organization's needs and their compliance level. But at a baseline, this helps the organization protect the data, protect the environments, reduce the risk of unauthorized access or misuse. If you have any other suggestions or comments around access controls and maintaining compliance, leave a comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks.